Before diving into what the research says, there is a framing problem worth addressing up front. Recommending that someone eat salmon every single day isn't really where the evidence or the practicality points. What the research consistently supports is consuming fatty fish 2 to 3 times weekly, and salmon is among the best choices for that purpose. That said, examining the nutritional profile of salmon and what happens when it's a genuine dietary staple gives us useful insight into why fatty fish consumption is one of the most evidence-backed dietary patterns associated with cardiovascular and cognitive health. A 3.5-ounce serving of wild-caught salmon delivers roughly 22 to 25 grams of high-quality complete protein, approximately 2,260 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids, and 59% of the daily value for selenium. It is also one of the few significant dietary sources of vitamin D, a nutrient that approximately 40% of American adults are deficient in, providing around 75 to 90% of the daily value per serving. The B12 content is substantial. The astaxanthin, the carotenoid that gives salmon its pink color, is a potent fat-soluble antioxidant with anti-inflammatory properties, and the protein quality rivals any food in the human diet. The omega-3 case is where salmon is most distinctive. EPA and DHA from marine sources are in a form the body can use directly, circumventing the inefficient conversion pathway from plant-based ALA that we discussed in other contexts. Regular marine omega-3 consumption is associated across dozens of clinical trials and epidemiological studies with reductions in triglycerides, blood pressure, inflammatory cytokines, arrhythmia risk, and rate of cognitive decline. The American Heart Association's recommendation of 2 fish servings weekly for heart health is based on a remarkably consistent body of evidence. The wild-caught versus farm debate is worth engaging honestly. Wild salmon has a somewhat better omega-3 to omega-6 ratio and lower contaminant exposure in most assessments. Farmed salmon, however, contains more total fat and therefore can deliver similar absolute omega-3 amounts despite the less favorable ratio. The sustainability picture is more complicated. Some salmon farming operations are environmentally responsible while others are not, and certification labels from organizations like the Marine Stewardship Council provide more reliable guidance than blanket wild versus farmed declarations. Mercury is the contaminant most people ask about, and salmon is one of the safer choices in the seafood world on this front. As a short-lived fish lower in the food chain, salmon accumulates far less mercury than shark, swordfish, king mackerel, or tilefish. For pregnant women, children, and people eating salmon very frequently, the FDA's guidance places salmon in the best choices category, up to 2 to 3 servings per week without mercury concern. Canned salmon is worth mentioning as a genuinely underutilized option that is affordable, shelf-stable, and nutritionally nearly equivalent to fresh. Wild-caught canned salmon with bones included provides calcium alongside all the other benefits, making it one of the more nutrient-complete single foods available at accessible price points.